5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're back. This is now podcast number 6. We've streamlined the numbering system. Welcome to the TMCJ podcast. Still don't have a better name than that one. Yeah. And
a lot of production value.
Oh, yeah. You can tell by the stock gameplay footage that I just upload alongside every video or every.
Yeah. What's the plan for today's one?
I don't know. Well, I recorded a bunch of us playing Rainbow Six, so maybe that's gonna go up there.
Cool. Sweet headshot.
just
gonna be that.
Oh my
10-second loop for the whole
clip.
fucking thing.
That clip over and over again.
Yep.
So yeah, this is now officially podcast number 6 because it was getting weird.
I was gonna correct you and say it's 5, and I was like, wait, no, it is 6.
It is, yeah. Even now that it's simple, we're not talking about test cases anymore. No, it's just podcast number 6. The first 3 were just a little bit shorter than the others, but we didn't judge them for it.
No, they're just midgets. Sorry, it's already been drinking coffee. I've got some incredibly sugary food behind me. It's gonna be a good one.
Oh yeah. So. Well, we're starting off segment 1, topics, and like I was just saying, the topics, I wasn't really able to think of something this week where I was like, oh, we could talk about this for a while. I just had a couple, I jotted down 3, like, mediocre ideas, and I'm hoping that together they might make something
It will Ultron, and wait, no, Ultron didn't.
You're thinking of Voltron.
Voltron, that's wow, I'm smart. We need a goddamn jingle for each of the segments.
Da-da-la, da-da-la, da-da-la-da.
Dude, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh my god. This is the first topic. It's let's just make noises for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Let's just be dumb bots.
So one thing that I wanted to talk about right off the bat, because the last 2 podcasts I've been ragging on Amazon Prime because they won't let us stream videos. And this is more of a personal accomplishment to me. Maybe some of you out there are also trying to watch things on Amazon Prime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Go on.
I managed to figure out a way around their obnoxious no screen sharing like technology. So I have an Elgato, which I had bought back in 2018 so that I could record videos of me playing Red Dead Redemption 2.
Say it again, just slower, because I didn't actually catch what it was that you got.
An Elgato?
Gato, like cat.
Yeah.
French.
Well, or Spanish. Gato is also, yeah. El gato. It's Spanish for cat.
Okay, good.
But anyway, it's... I love how when I pronounced it in Spanish, I pronounced the T, but when I said it with my normal accent, it sounds like a D. Like...
Yeah.
Quirks.
Go on, speak.
Quirks of that
man.
Boston accent.
Yeah.
Park the car in Harvard Yard.
Anyway, yes, right. What the heck does Elgato do?
Well, so the device is, I mean, it's used to, like, you can route an HDMI cable through it and then plug it into your computer. The idea being you can record gameplay directly from consoles or whatever you are routing through it. So what I did was I didn't plug anything into the output, but the input I used the 3rd HDMI slot on my computer and plugged that into the Elgato and then, hooked it up to my computer. So it was essentially spoofing a 3rd monitor. Like the...
Why do you need 3 HDMI slots? I need 1 for the screen.
Oh, I only use one of them. So one of them I have hooked up to... So technically I have 2 HDMIs, 2 DisplayPort cables. The DisplayPorts are hooked up to my monitors. 1 HDMI port is hooked up to my work laptop because I use the same monitor for both. And...
Right.
No, I'm completely full of shit. I don't even know what's plugged into my computer right now. Doesn't matter. Because I plugged the HDMI cable into the back, into my computer and then into the Elgato, Amazon thought it was displaying to a 3rd monitor. So when I pull up the software that records from the Elgato, it's just recording a monitor.
Yeah.
Or it is the monitor, technically. But Amazon doesn't know that it's a program and not a real monitor, so I can actually stream that program, and it won't cut out the video.
Gotcha. Also, I'm full of shit. Good podcast name, just saying.
I think it should be called We're Full of Shit. Thank you very much.
No, but I've got English shit, so it's higher quality.
Yeah, yeah. The
Um,
accent gives you a few extra points.
mm, Class. The So yeah, what was it that we're gonna watch? Because it's your movie night next, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So the movie was going to be Passengers, which is
Mm.
it's a movie that I like really liked. Um, just general premise without spoilers because I don't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah.
The idea is that it's kind of near far future, like late 2000s era, so like 2080, 2070, something like that. And humanity has colonized other planets, but not with faster than light travel. They have ships that travel like at a percentage of the speed of light, and people go into hibernation, right?
Okay.
Up until the final approach, where they wake people up, and it's like a resort ship, and people can just enjoy the. It's like a cruise ship until they get to their final destination.
Right. And then
Some
something goes wrong, I guess.
Yes, for not for everyone though.
Okay.
So it's an interesting premise to a movie. I won't say more than that,
No,
but
no, no.
it was one of the first movies I saw with Chris Pratt that showed that he could do like a serious role. Because I saw him in Parks and Recreation.
Oh yeah, this is the Chris Pratt and the uh
His wife
um
at the time.
oh, is it? I
Yeah,
thought it was
they were. I think they're divorced now, but they were. I don't know why. Like
Hunger Games chick, I thought.
normally I'm shit at all this pop culture stuff, but I actually know that, and I don't remember why.
Right. Is someone like a robot barkeep?
There is a robot barkeep, yes, and he's British.
Right. Okay. I think I've seen. Oh, really? Oh, wow.
I think
Must
he
be a
is.
good film.
I'm pretty
Uh,
sure.
cool. Yeah. No. So that'll be good to watch.
Yeah, well, it's a
What
great movie.
you have brought up Amazon, so I have by law to bring up Netflix.
Okay.
Uh, we've been watching Hellsing Ultimate.
Hold up. Do you
Van
want to save this for the media segment of the podcast?
Okay, yeah, I think that's probably a better idea.
But yeah, because I do want to talk about Hellsing Ultimate because I fucking love that anime.
Yes.
So this is the other topic I had, and maybe I did lie at the beginning. I think we could probably get some mileage out of this.
Oh, yeah?
Shitty games or shitty movies. Like the line between it's just a pain to watch and it's so bad it's good.
What about shitty games? No, good games that became shitty movies, or vice versa. I can't think in my head right now.
We
You know
can
what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, we can explore both. I mean, the first thing that pops into my mind when you're saying that is did you ever see the original Mario Brothers movie, the first live action one?
No,
It
I think I've heard of it, but it's not something I know very well.
it's kind of like a cult classic kind of thing in terms of video game
Right.
movies. Like just really shitty like old Godzilla era kind of costumes. It's
Yeah.
like weirdly gritty. Um,
Because all the okay, not all, 90% of the games I see becoming movies, the moment I hear it's becoming a movie, I'm like, that's gonna be a dreadful movie.
yeah.
And not because of I think these games slash movies could be amazing, but they just never are, and I don't understand why.
Yeah.
Maybe because we got to cram so much into such a small space.
Yeah, but even if they're just trying to adapt a small piece of it, like sometimes it works out okay. Like, did you ever see the Final Fantasy Advent Children movie?
I did, and I thought it was awful. Wait, unless it was a different Final Fantasy movie. I've seen a Final Fantasy movie.
So there's a few. So the one I'm thinking of is it's CGI. It's based on Final Fantasy VII, so Cloud, Tifa, all them.
Yeah, that does ring a bell. It might have been the one I watched.
I mean, I thought it was okay, but again, it was. Yeah.
I mean, I watched this on my PSP about 10 years ago.
God, that really dates it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Then there's other ones like didn't they made a Silent Hill movie? Didn't they?
I never played Silent Hill. I
I,
was too
I never
young.
I never played the games. I hate horror games. Like horror,
Okay.
it's not my genre.
Yeah.
but I did see the Silent Hill movie back in college, and I think it was Silent Hill and not Resident Evil, because I know they made movies out of both of them.
Right.
And people who are actually fans of those series are going to crucify me, but I don't really know the difference. Like, I think one is...
The Resident Evil fandom, it's going to be a lot worse than crucifying, mate.
They're going to turn me into some kind of a zombie. I do know that Umbrella Corporation comes out of that thing, and
Yeah.
they're the standard for, like, contrived corporate villainy.
I've not really played any Resident Evil games, but even I think that Umbrella is a really cool concept. Just the logo, right? That's how you do a good... It doesn't look like anything violent. It's just an umbrella. But the red, the white, and the black, and... I don't know.
So
It's very sinister. I like
it's
it.
a really shitty company with a really good branding and marketing department.
Sure. I mean, I kind of compare them to the what's the evil slash good company in Killing Floor?
Oh, I have no idea.
And Pausine?
I didn't even know that
Very
game had a
similar.
plot, honestly.
Oh yeah. It's not a very long plot, but there is a plot.
It's there. It's a light presence. Oh man. So I'm trying to think, like, what are the, like, game-based movies then? Because
Okay.
they
there
did.
was, well, sorry.
No, didn't they make a Tomb Raider movie? Am I imagining that?
If they didn't, there are a lot of films that copy basically Tomb Raider.
What we're learning from this conversation right now is, though we both know that game-based movies exist, we typically
can't
avoid
name
them.
Yeah, well, we've spoken about Sonic previously.
Oh yeah, the Sonic. Well, that's what I want to see, because I've heard really good things about it. And
Yeah, I've heard mixed reviews, but generally they've been pretty positive. And I like the fact they went back and worked on it.
yeah, well, it's one of those rare instances where fan feedback was actually taken seriously by a company.
Yeah. One other rare instance, which is where a movie became a game. Shrek. Now,
I'm sorry, I played some
think-
of the old Shrek games.
I think everyone here loves the first two Shrek films at least.
Well, yeah.
And I did play a lot of the PS1, I think no, PS1 and PS2 Shrek games when I was young. And there were cheat codes and all that, and it was
Yeah.
pretty fun.
Yeah.
Because it was, I mean, I have a brother, so we could do co-op, so maybe it'd be less fun if you're on your own.
Yeah.
That wasn't actually that bad now I think about it.
I don't know. I played them, and when I played them around the same time you were, but I was significantly older at that point. And they were, I mean, they were okay, but they were like generic platformers from that era.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that you got to play as everybody's favorite Green Goblin, like, there's not really.
Oh no, Puss in Boots every day.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Donkey. Donkey is my favorite character from that movie.
I'm a stallion, baby.
People, people don't like onions. It's like
They got
cakes.
layers.
Cakes have layers. People love cakes. Ogres are not like cakes. That's my Shrek accent, by the way.
You're a lot better at the accent than I am. Actually, now I think about it, a lot of the there are quite a few good old game films. Star Wars, obviously,
There's quite a few good Star Wars games. Yeah.
pretty damn good. Yeah.
I'm
I
thinking.
don't know, but when I think of
KOTOR.
game films, though, I generally go with like Spider-Man. I was never a fan of Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Spider-Man games have kind of been hit or miss. So like the one that
Yeah.
just came out for the PS4, the Marvel
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
that's quite good.
Oh my god! So Raymond, I know he listens to these. Big thanks to him. He got it for me for Christmas one year,
Yeah.
and as a present. So, Jesus Christ, Raymond, great friend. Anyway,
Good job.
he got it for me for Christmas, and I started playing. I didn't have much hope because I knew a lot of the Spider-Man games were kind of crap. There was one like early one on the GameCube, I think, that was a lot of fun, and I didn't own it. I rented it. and I had a ton of fun with that. But I played a few other ones since then, and they were just kind of meh.
Yeah.
But this one was so much fun. They nailed exactly what you need to nail in a Spider-Man game, and that is the free roaming, like, web swinging. Like, they made
the
it
freedom
fun.
of it.
Yeah, they made it fun just to fly around the city as fast as you can and, like, build up momentum, doing flips in the air, and it was so well done. Like, there was a ton of like side questing, and it was, the plague of most open world games now is they've just got too much to do.
Oh god, yeah. Or they just have a lot of like open forest. Like, oh, it's
Yeah.
such a big, open, vibrant forest, but it's got nothing in it.
This game did not fall into that trap. Like, everything that was on the side, like, there was some optional side stuff that I ignored because it was just not fun to do. But there was, like, most of it was, it felt tight, it felt polished, the gameplay was just clean and really enjoyable. It made just getting to a mission fun because of the web swinging.
Yeah. I'd say the same with, I don't know if you ever played... Okay, again, this is another franchise that was very hit or miss. Transformers.
Yeah.
They did have some bad games.
Oh, yeah.
But there was one on DS. Well, technically two, because they split it into the Autobots version and the Decepticons version. And I bought both. I loved it that fucking much.
I've never heard of this game.
Yeah, it was on DS, and every single, like... it was open world, and every car, or, like, truck, or whatever that was going down the street, you could scan it, and you could become it. Like, there were so many, and it was so fun just walking around the open world, like, as a flying thing, or just a really cool-looking car, or a truck. And that's something that I hadn't seen before, and I don't think I've really seen since, is the ability to just, like, walk up to an NPC, if you will, and just be like, I'm going to take this cool thing from them, and be able to do that.
I'm trying to think. I know I've played a game that had something similar to that. I'm struggling for the memory now, but I've never heard of that. That sounds really cool. I may have to go and find this game now. The only Transformers game I can remember playing and really getting into was the War for Cybertron games.
Oh yes, oh god, that was a really good game.
Yeah, there were two in the series. I think there was War for Cybertron and something else for Cybertron. I don't remember. I played both of them.
I think I had War for Cybertron. I don't think I had the other one. It was the one that started off in like it started at the end with your ship getting torn apart.
Yes. Yeah, and you choose between Optimus Prime and Megatron near the Yeah.
Brilliant game that. The online capabilities also worked very well.
So I played the first one. I had the first one on the Xbox 360, I think, which kind of dates how old the game is. The second one is one you're talking about.
I had that on the PS3.
Yeah, I had that one on the Xbox and on the PC later, but the PC version is kind of glitchy. So
right.
Here it is.
Yeah, it really reignited my love for the franchise. Go on.
Transformers Fall of Cybertron is the second one. That's the one you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
So War for Cybertron is the first one. Fall of Cybertron was the second one.
Gotcha.
But yeah, great games, and it really got, because I mean, I'm a sucker for nostalgia, and I was a huge Transformers fan all the way back since I was like, so I watched the original series that came out in the 80s. After it came out, they did a rerun of it when I was a kid. I was born in the 80s, but at the tail end of the 80s, so I was not old enough to appreciate them until I was like 3 or 4 years old, and that was when I started watching them and really getting into them. And I stayed a fan of Transformers all throughout, like Transformers, and then they did Beast Wars. I loved both of those series. I had the toys, like I loved playing with them and transforming them.
Yeah.
So
you could never get on with the toys. They're always too fiddly. I didn't want to break something.
Oh, I played the... God, I have, back at my parents' place, they're still there in a box in our attic. I still have tons of them.
They probably sell for a fuck. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so the older ones probably, yeah. But
the game, it was really, for its time, it was very pretty. and particularly the flying Transformers were just really cool.
Yeah, and like they really the thing that those games, like I was talking about with the Spider-Man game, that with a Spider-Man game, the thing you need to nail is the web swinging. With a
Yeah,
Transformers game, the thing you need to nail is the transforming.
yeah,
Like you need to make the vehicle and robot form like just feel smooth and just like just have to
iconic.
mesh. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Be the main plot point of why people want to go and buy it. Yeah. So I don't really remember much about the fighting as such. I can remember parts of the story because there were some quite detailed scenes. Like the frickin' the Megatron returning to power and like crushing Starscream at the ceremony that happens in the original animation.
Yep.
Oh, that was just a brilliant moment in the game. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just oh god, this has just become like talking about nostalgia.
Yeah,
Like, we started off talking
back.
about like shitty games and shitty movies, and
Yeah.
well, adaptations from games to movies and movies to games. But somehow we just got into like good ones now, and we're talking about just. But I mean, it's a good point. Like they're it's so rare that when they do it right, it stands out.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, because they have released some garbage games, which we're just not talking about.
I'm thinking, I think it was for the original Xbox. They had the Enter the Matrix game.
Right.
Oh my god, it was just like, hey, do you remember this scene from the movie? Let me show you it in a shittier version.
Right. Yeah.
That was the entire game.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think when the movie came out, because it came out after the DS game that I was talking about, but before the um, Fall of Cybertron.
Hmm.
I was looking at the movie and I was like, "Oh my god, Jazz dies!" Because I knew Jazz from the game, and he was like one of my favorite characters. And I was like, "What? You can't do this to me!"
Jazz is a fucking awesome character.
He's
There's a lot of
legend.
people. Like one of my like I liked the character. Spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen the 1986 movie. But quite a few main characters died. Like Ironhide, he was a character I
Yeah.
really liked. He gets shot in the face by Megatron in the first like 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it's not gory because it's just robots, but it's still sad when you lose a character
Yeah.
you love. Yeah.
But they
Uh,
do a good job. Like if you've built up that kind of empathy with these characters, they do a good job of like making it seem poignant, even though it's robots.
What's your opinion on the new films? Oh, is this too media-y? I don't know.
I mean, we're talking
It's
about
kind of its own
Transformers.
section.
Yeah, we're talking about Transformers. Let's go into this. The new films, like you're talking about the
So from
Big Bang Explosion films that started with Shia LaBeouf.
yeah, all the Shia LaBeouf.
I was really excited when the first one came out because I was like, oh, they're doing Transformers movies, they're gonna be great, and then it was
Yep.
just like explosion porn. Like it was.
Well, at one point it was pretty much just porn. I mean,
Oh,
in the
Oh yeah,
first
what's her
film-
name? The chick that was They were like
Yeah.
they had Shia LaBeouf and this really hot chick, and they were there. But I don't know what that says about me. Like I didn't give a crap about the two human characters. Like show me Optimus Prime.
Right? I mean, they were just whiny neurotic. But
Yeah.
the when it opens on the very first film, the Black Hawk helicopter. I think it's called Blackout. It's been too long since I played.
Yeah,
Transformers.
you blackout. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I recognize him, and he's really cool, and he's like a military helicopter. It looks it looks so cool.
I agree. The
Um,
first movie, like when I first saw it, I felt the same way. Like I'm seeing these people
Yeah.
for the first time. They look so cool.
And that's the sentiment you got throughout the film. There wasn't many emotions. It was just a lot of, damn, that's cool. Oh,
And-
damn, that's cool.
That
Uh,
and it faded.
yeah.
It faded in the subsequent movies. Like once that like
It did.
oh that's
It was
cool like faded off, you realize they were just kind of like shallow,
The
you know.
plots became weaker and weaker and weaker,
Yeah.
and it became more like. There's one that I started watching it with. It was my whole family. We sat down having food, and we was like, "Oh, cool." let's put on DVD. It was the new Transformers. Great. It opens on like a 10-minute scene of this barely clothed girl like getting out of bed with LaBouffe. And we didn't even get to the end of the scene. We were just like, no, this is just bollocks.
I guarantee. I wanna believe that was in Shia LaBeouf's contract.
Well, he has to have a attractive female.
Yeah, there needs to be at least one scene with me in bed with a sexy girl.
Right.
And that's not his accent. I don't know what that accent was, but yeah.
It was so not Transformers. I think.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm making a new topic right now, and we're gonna transform
into it.
Transfer right into it. Okay. Shia LaBeouf, because this is a topic that, like, all right, I could talk about this for days. He's one of the few celebrities that I follow because it's like watching a train wreck that keeps putting itself back together again.
Right.
Like,
I saw he got arrested.
He's been arrested quite a bit.
He just seems like a bit of a div.
So here's Shia LaBeouf's storied history in a nutshell. He was Disney Channel dude. There was a show called Even Stevens, and he played like a younger brother who was kind of schlubby and obnoxious. It was a decent.
I mean, that's what he does. That's his thing.
Yeah, it was a decent show. Like, I remember watching it as a kid. I don't remember pretty much anything about it except for the premise. Then, he moves on, starts getting some different roles. He decides he wants to be a fucking action hero. He has the Nicolas Cage syndrome, and he goes into the 4th Indiana Jones movie where he's trying to be the young Indy. That flopped because he's like, people watched it because they had the nostalgia. They're like, oh, Indiana Jones, but it generally got kind of lukewarm at best for reviews.
I haven't seen many Indiana Jones.
The original 3 were pretty good. I watched them long. I never watched them as a kid, but I watched them in college because I was like, I realized I'd never seen them and I wanted to see them. But
who doesn't love watching a Nazi getting shot? So,
or having their faces melted off. Spoiler alert. So anyway, he does that. That kind of flops. Then he gets into the Transformers movies, which is a little bit more like his style of thing. Then he has like some kind of a crazy mental breakdown, and he does like this weird art thing for a while where he goes to red carpets wearing a bag on his head saying, "I used to be famous," or something like that. And
really, he did that?
He made an art exhibit which was just like, I don't know, him taking a shit or something like that. I don't know. No. It was him sitting on a toilet and people could like throw things at him. Or something like that. It was some weird, pretentious, arty bullshit. Yeah. Something that, to me, makes absolutely no sense. But somebody who is into art, it probably sounds like the Mona Lisa. I don't know.
I don't think it does, because I've been around a lot of arty people kind of thing. There's like some real story behind it that's interesting, then yeah. I mean, there's a woman who sat on a chair in the middle of a room, like completely naked for like, I can't remember how long it was. It was some crazy amount of time, like a week. And people would just come and just stand there and just see her, and that got massive rave reviews. And I can understand that, but a dude sitting on a shitter having stuff thrown at him, I don't think there's much art in that, really.
It's modern art. Modern art does not have art. Art is optional in modern art. At least that's been my read on it.
Yeah, not trying to offend any artists.
I am.
Oh, maybe you are. I don't know.
I am. I don't give a fuck about modern art. Most modern art is like tasteless and requires zero skill. If I can recreate it by like putting paint on the bottom of a Roomba and throwing it over a canvas, then that is not art. I'm sorry.
But then it's the fault of the person that buys it, not the fault of the person that makes it.
That's true. Yeah, the whole...
It's a conversation piece, dear.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I like that is something that legitimately gets me like a little heated under the collar.
Grinds the gears.
Because I enjoy going to like an art museum. I like seeing sculptures and like cool paintings and stuff like that. There's one in Boston. I've been there a couple times. It's really cool. But then they have the modern art exhibit, and I walk in there. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, because
Yeah.
stuff like that, like there was one, it was literally just a woman had painted herself gold and then taken a photograph of herself. That was it.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
there's so much less than that. There's literal just white pieces of paper that people put in frames. And
it's like the, yeah, it's exactly, it's like the old joke, you know, oh, what did you paint? It's a blank canvas. What did you paint? Oh, it's a polar bear enjoying a snow cone in the middle of a blizzard.
right? Yeah. I mean, it takes them like weeks and months to get to it, and I guess that's what makes it sell. But
I I honestly think modern art, or a lot of art, is about brand names. You're
okay,
buying.
what about? Sorry.
No, no. We've gone down this rabbit hole. We're at 30 minutes, but we're gonna go as long as we need to with
Okay.
this.
Well, how about this as an
Go
idea
on.
for a piece of art, right?
Okay, go.
It's a white piece of paper, right? It looks like a white piece of paper, but someone took it around every country in the world, and a single teardrop from a person in every different country's nationality went onto that piece of paper. Is that art? Are you thinking really hard? Or
I
did
am
lose
thinking. I'm
connection?
sorry. I know it's just I know it's just dead air. I'm like, I'm thinking for a second. I mean, I think it's significant. Is it art? Maybe. Like, but the thing is, that actually required some effort, and the paper is going to show like stains and the effect of like the tears hitting it, because the tear isn't just water. It's it's got salts and
Yeah,
other
it's got
things in it.
salt. Yeah.
So it's gonna discolor the paper slightly. So in that case, I mean, I think that's legit. My problem
Okay.
is like a lot of modern art to me looks like very, very low effort, very low skill. Just do something and give it a message, and then suddenly it's art.
Also, I'm copywriting the shit out of that idea, by the way, because that was actually not bad.
That actually, yeah, no, that sounds like a really good. Honestly, you could probably win a fucking, I don't know what art people win, but you could win an award for that shit. You'd be in a museum.
Oh my god.
Some rich idiot who's trying to protect his money from the government would probably buy that for $1 million.
Kaiser, that's my sugar daddy you're talking about.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I just so I'll wrap this up because we are over 30 minutes. I'll wrap this up with
Yes.
one quick story related to art. I was talking about
Okay.
how I'd gone to the Museum of Art in Boston a couple times, and if you can't tell by the way I talk, for those of you who are listening who don't know, yeah, I'm from the Boston area. There was a friend of mine that I went to college with, and she and I decided we were going to go to just bored, wanted to do something. Decided we were going to go to the Boston Art Museum,
Yep.
and I think it's called the Museum of Fine Arts Boston. We went in there and we walked around, like looking at some of the classical exhibits and stuff like that. Enjoyed the thing, but both of us are obnoxious assholes, so that couldn't last.
Right.
We went to an exhibit where they had an interactive computer thing, and they had little buttons you could take a quiz. Mine froze. And the program, whatever they were running it on Windows, and whatever the program was running, it froze while I was using it, and I kept tapping
I
it
remember. Yeah.
because I knew that if you keep tapping it, that's clicks, and if you tap a frozen program enough time on Windows, it'll give you the option to close it.
Yeah.
So I did, and then I pulled up Windows Media Player and just started playing the default like music that comes with every copy of Windows.
Oh my god. Such a vandal.
So there was that.
But
But that's not
yeah.
where I'm getting to. So anyway, we decided to eat lunch in the museum, and they have like this really pretentious like area where you can get like some kind of fancy sandwiches and salads, and they have like wine, beer, water, juice, whatever.
Mhm.
So between the two of us, we drink an entire bottle of wine over lunch, and then we go to the modern art exhibit and just
Right.
laid into it.
Yeah.
Just walking through, and I
I
at
bet
least
the fucking attendants see people assholes like you every day.
I was at least talking quietly. She was not. Just
Yeah.
it's like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, and so we go through, and we were getting dirty looks from the people around us too. People who were looking at it and like scratching their chins thoughtfully, going like, "Oh
Yeah.
yes, I see the merit in the shit stain on this corner of the canvas."
Hmm.
I could rant
Yeah,
about
no.
that all day. I'll end it with that anecdote. Before we
Cool.
move on to segment 2, do you have any final thoughts on topics?
Uh, I was gonna say it's a sore point talking about museums with me, but obviously because of the whole thing that went down when you visited.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's been a long time since I've properly gone to a museum. I remember going on a school trip to the Saatchi Gallery in London. I think it's the Russian funded.
Hmm.
It's all Russian artwork anyway, and there was some really cool stuff. And then you got to the top floor, and the whole class was just walking around like, mindless zombies. You suddenly realize we're in a room, and every single wall is plastered with uh, phallic and whatever the female equivalent of phallic is, images everywhere, and like guys and guys, and women, and the age we were, which was well, it was not an age that was mature, very clearly, because we spent like the rest of the trip trying to dare people to go into that room
Go
because it
and
was
look at the boobies.
torture just to be in that area.
Oh my god.
um,
Yeah.
but I think I've grown up a little bit since then.
Hmm. One would hope. Oh god. So all right. We'll end segment 1 there. This is the end of segment 1. If you're listening during the week, then this will be the end of the video. But if you are listening on Saturday or after Saturday and listening to the entire thing, you will hear us again in just a few minutes. Until then, thank you for listening.